Christmas a come, me want me llama. Christmas a come, me want me llama. Christmas a come, me want me llama. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, Christmas is coming, guys. How do you feel about it? Huh? How does it make you feel that Christmas is on the brink? Some of us, we start feel the cool breeze already. Some of us, we start see the pepper light. Some of us, we start hear the clappers. Oh my goodness. Yeah, how do you feel about it? Christmas comes every single year. It's something that we cannot avoid. But everybody has a different reaction to it, right? And for me, and maybe a few other people, it comes with some unwanted thoughts and feelings and such. Christmas has always been a difficult time for me, but you push through because of family, and sometimes you don't get to push through and you just chill by yourself, you get me? But yeah, before we get into the topic today, I just wanted to create some context. All right, so today's topic is going to be healing. Healing. And a lot of us, we are on our own journeys to healing. And sometimes it's pretty and sometimes it's together and we have it all worked out. But sometimes it gets really messy and we fall into low days or slow days, if that's what you want to call it. So today we're going to be talking about healing. And yeah, this episode might have a little bit of my life twisted into it, but you don't know, this is a safe space and we're going to keep it real. From a few years back, I have struggled to keep the joy of Christmas in my heart. I am a Christian, and so I believe in Jesus Christ, his birth, his death, and his resurrection. So Christmas is about him. But living in this country with the culture that we have, Christmas is not just about him. But what I try to do, I try to remind myself that, hey, Christmas is about my Savior and my Lord. But outside of all of that, seasonal depression is a real thing. Yeah, seasonal depression is a real thing. I can't pinpoint to you when this seasonal depression started, but I know that coming down to December, once December first come, is like there is this inner tension about Christmas because of the need to always be joyful. You're happy, family comes around and all of that. So there is this expectation that you should be joyful, you should be thankful, da da da. But for me, it has been a difficult period in my life because it comes with that anxiety of wondering, should I be around my family this year, or should I kick it alone this year, or how will Christmas be? Will I overcome this heaviness that comes every year, or will it devour me and I have to chill on my own and just work through it? Yeah, so most of us probably don't even want to have this conversation, that when it comes around to Christmas, for whatever reason, we have very slow days, very low days. And with Jamaican society, them say, yeah man, just brush it off and come again. And yeah man, we have that cool, outgoing type of vibe about most things. And so when sadness comes, or when those uncomfortable feeling comes, nobody really wants to give you space to talk about it. All right. So yeah, I went through a very traumatic experience, and in the year that it happened, that's when the anxiety really started. Like me, I say, yo, I can't be happy this Christmas because this thing has totally shattered my mind, my heart, my body, and my soul. And yeah, how can I really put my joy out there? How can I really enjoy Christmas for what it represents? The family, the coming together, the joy, celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. How can I authentically be joyful when I'm shattered in a way that is unexplainable? There's no words to describe how I felt during that period of my life. It was the most difficult period of my life, and it completely changed me. Trauma is real. Yeah, we're not gonna get into the trauma thing today. We're gonna be talking about healing. So my healing process has been continuous since then. And some people might say, oh, you know, get over that yet, you're still a deal with that. And you know, it kind of make you feel away sometimes, because you're like, yo, I don't want to be in this space of constantly remembering this thing that happened to me and floored me, left me breathless on the floor, dying, crawling for days, months, and years. Yeah, you know, you want to move on. Yeah, you want to shake off things. But the reality of it is that healing is a process. It's hard to mention the choice that Miss or past Miss Jamaica made when she made her own conclusions and decided to put an end to her life process, right? And a lot of Jamaicans, they went through this, for lack of a better word, a period of awakening. Like, you know, life ending process. The life ending process was new to them. The first time I hear about it, but what I can say is that a lot of people don't like to have these conversations because of fear. Fear of what people might think. Yeah? And it kind of goes over into people pleasing, because you want to be a particular way for people to be seen as acceptable. So you either bury all your emotions, or you tell yourself, yeah, I'm gonna deal with this later, and then later don't come. I don't really know, if it's a millennial thing or it's just a people thing. But you see, us millennials, yeah, sorry to be grouping, but you see, us millennials is like, we grew up in an age where we have to tug out everything. We have to tough it out, We have to put the good foot forward and brave face and all those things, because that's how we are raised. So just get up, man. You drop and you just say, come on, man, get up, man, and brush off yourself. And, you move on. But the fear that some of us face is so crippling that we don't even share, right? We don't even bring people in and say, yo, I'm carrying this, I'm dealing with this. Even if sometimes it is quite visible to our family members and friends, we won't have that conversation, or we choose not to have that conversation out of fear. You know what? But today, if you're listening, I just want you to know that, hey, guess what? You have to make up your mind, you see, what you are able to lose. Are you able to give up a part of yourself and say, yeah, people are going to see it and pray it a particular way that I might not be comfortable with? Or you're going to allow yourself to deteriorate? You have the power. You have that power to decide that I am choosing not to deteriorate. I am going to speak up, because at the end of the day, if I don't, it's going to cost me something way bigger than probably feeling ashamed, or feeling regret from saying or speaking up or whatever. So over the years, I have done a few things to kind of get through the whole pain and trauma of that experience. And I wouldn't say it's pretty. I wouldn't say everything turned out the way I wanted it to turn out, but there are things that I did to actually get through, or continue positively on my healing process, because some persons decide to end their healing process because them just can't bother, them just throwing the towel and give up. So yeah. So you're on your journey of healing. Like, what are some of the things that you can do? All right. So over the years, you're a different person every year, because you're growing and learning from your experiences. Um, Early on in the healing process, like probably months after the trauma that I went through, um, the country has always been a place of refuge, a place of safety for me, because I have so many great experiences with my great grandfather. He's from Manchester, and for that particular time, I had to take a break. I took a break. I came to the country, and I didn't stay for long. Probably stayed like for 3 days. And yeah, but I got to grieve in that process. So the first stage of healing is grieving. You have to grieve. You have to grieve. You have to just sit in the feeling and allow it to pass through you. Sometimes it don't pass through as quickly as we would expect, but you cannot not face those hard feelings. So yeah, initially that's what I did, right? And after that, I really couldn't handle the pain of everything. So I resigned from my job. That is not an option for all persons, because at that particular time I was still living in my parents' home. So my mother gave me the option of resigning. So yeah, I resigned from my job at the time and just took like a month, because let me tell you, sometimes healing is ugly. And I remember back in that time when I decided to resign from my job, I was kind of, really having a hard time mentally. Yeah, I just couldn't focus. And in the profession that I am in, yes, I'm a teacher. You can't not have your head on your body when you are teaching the nation's children. So yeah, I had to step back, and I resigned from my job. A lot of persons did not like that. A lot of persons did not approve of that. And I just decided that it wasn't just about me. I had to be careful because of the type of profession I was in. Yeah, so I resigned from my job. And I resigned in my job, say, the September. And by the October, I decided to get another job that did not require so much of me. Oh, the parrots are flying by today. So, yeah, I went to work at a call center. And yeah, just to cope with all the pain I was going through and to heal in my own time. I also started to journal. I have so many journals. Eventually, I had to burn those because it was intense. So journaling is one thing that helped me through the healing process. And you can decide to journal, or you can decide to just write letters on a particular day when you feel super heavy and you want to process the feelings of what you're trying to heal from. You can write letters. Some of the letters that I wrote were addressed to God. Some of the letters were written like diary entries. You can decide what works for you. So journaling, everybody in counseling, yeah, I did a little therapy as well. So they always encouraged me to, journal, to write, to write, to write, to write. And I think I wrote a lot of poetry during that time too. So it depends on what you like. If writing poetry, writing stories, da 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 da, yeah. I actually end up writing a book, or starting a book in this season. And I started to post it on Wattpad during that time, Yeah, it wasn't originally about the story that I was writing wasn't originally about what I was going through, but I used scenes from what I was going through, the hard parts, to kind of establish that kind of conflict. Yeah. So yeah, you can decide to write journal, poetry, whatever suits you. I had some days where I just had to turn up the music and dance it out. If you ever watch Grey's Anatomy, you would know that Christina and Meredith have this thing that they do. Them just turn up the music and them dance and dance and dance. And basically, it's not far-fetched when you think about it on a psychological stance. You're dancing out the emotion out of your body. Because sometimes when you're dealing with or going through a healing process, the emotions can get very heavy. Very, very, very heavy. And a lot of people don't talk about that. As old people that say, "Baby, it hard for carry." Yes. So sometimes you have to just get up and dance it out. You choose the music what you like, of course. But yeah, dancing it out is an option. Another thing that you can do, you have to have periods where you just sit on your own, sit down. I used to go to Hope Gardens a lot. And I just go there and I just spend the day walking around, looking at the trees. Sometimes I sit at the bench and just be quiet. Yeah, if you don't have like a garden like that as an option where you are at, you can always find a quiet space, maybe just going to the library. You have the book in front of you, but you're not reading. You're just there to absorb the quietness. Sometimes you just have to sit in stillness. Yeah. I there was one point in time I had to decide, like, yo, the social media thing. Yeah, but I forgot that out, to the point that I actually started to delete contacts so I didn't have to see the WhatsApp status and such. Yeah, so sometimes you definitely have to take a break from social media, like no cap. You have to just decide that, hey, I'm going to take a break from Instagram. I'm going to take a break from TikTok. I'm going to take a break from seeing my contacts posting. And one thing that I must say, healing looks different for everybody else. Right now, I am going through my own process of healing. 2025 come with some. Hey, you ever watch them boxing WWE something there? I just them take up the people them and throw them on the ground, and then after them throw them on the ground, them jumping on them belly. I can tell you that's the metaphor I have for 2025. I've gone through some stuff in all areas of my life, my family, my work, my church, my own personal relationship with myself. Went through a lot, and I had to decide to go on a healing journey of myself. Yeah, in teaching, after you work some years, you get what is called vacation. So I've been on my 4 months vacation, and I've been using it to heal the different parts of me that I have swept under the carpet for years, and say me I gotta deal with this and da 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 da. For these last 4 months, glory to God, I have been able to sit with myself, journal, write. I started writing a new children's book. Don't have a title for it as yet. I went back to write a few chapters of a book that I had started years ago, from about 2028, and this time has been really good. So I can say I'm still on my journey of healing, and that goes to say that healing is a process that continues. You have a start, you have a middle, and you have an end. As we all journey on our healing travail, well, not travail, as we all journey on our healing terrain, I pray that we will be honest with ourselves, be honest with where you are at, be honest, so that you can think it through, pray it through, talk it through, and get back to a space where you're 100% yourself. And maybe you'll never be 100% yourself, but you'll be able to function with all that you have, function fully and optimally, having gone through all that you have gone through. As we end and wrap up today's session, we just want to turn our eyes to God. I will lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. We want to give God thanks for the seasons that He has taken us through. Every season, though hard it is or has been, God has been by our side. And each season has taught us a little bit more about ourselves, a little bit more about people, a little bit more about life. So we give God thanks for seasons. We also want to give God thanks for life itself, for health, strength, wealth, breath, and all that it comes with. We might not have all that we need, but we want to give God thanks that we have life. We want to give God thanks for all the times He held us when nobody was there, when nobody could hear us, when nobody could see us, when we cried ourselves to sleep. We want to give God thanks for His peace in the midst of the storm. We want to give God thanks for the lessons that we've learned. We want to give God thanks because in this life there are seasons, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to weep, and a time to have joy. So as we wrap up this session, we just want to give God thanks and thank you for joining today. And be encouraged on your journey of healing. All right? Cool. All right, cool.